Hey, what's going on? Justice Severin here, back again from the original chapters. Today we're talking about enhancing your IPAs, enhancing your income producing activities, and really what our top students and clients have really been focused on in order to stop, just getting distracted with the fluff and understand what's going to truly move the needle in their business. All right, so this is a live stream we did right inside of our free Facebook group, Original Chapters Marketing. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, and we'll get you locked into everything coming out in the future there. But for right now, let's get right to it. Like I said, the goal here today is making sure that you are being as productive as possible. This really, for those of you who are aware, this hits on all three of our core pillars here, right? Really, the discovering your six-figure avatar, our supreme content messaging, and our simplified conversion formula, right? And you're going to see exactly why when we dive into it, because I want to really highlight the important pieces here. So really, like I said, I want to get straight to on that side. So let me know down in the comments you guys are ready to go. I want to get you guys rocking here today and get this thing moving, all right? With that being said, too, I got a quick question for you guys as well. Let me know right now where you guys are at in your business currently, right now, if you feel like maybe you're, I don't know, maybe you feel like you're stuck at a certain income goal at the moment. Maybe you've gotten your first $1,000 day, maybe you haven't, and you just kind of feel like you need something to kind of help boost that productivity up a little bit. Something to kind of get you knowing that day after day, the progress that you're making is really push you in that right direction. All right, I want to leave that there for a sec. Let me know if you guys are experiencing anything in that world right there. Like I said, just need a little tune up in the strategy and a way to get you dialed in here today. And that's really what I want to focus on to get you guys straight to the source with this one here. All right. So as always here, I'm going to walk you through really what our core focus is. Like I said, that's helped myself and even bigger than myself, our clients here at the OGC. But beyond that, giving you access to, like I said, really the three kind of core pieces and our 5-hour work week that I want to go ahead and really share with you guys that has really just changed the game as far as how we see our businesses here online and what allows us to really have that extreme productivity when it comes to just maximizing our effort, right? A lot of people in this space, you start this usually as a dream, as something, the way to get you out of a 9-to-5, something as a way to get you full-time online, right? So with that being said, how we have to take that into consideration. We can't assume here that we all have 40 hours in your week to go ahead and put into your business, because the majority of us don't. I know myself, before I was working full-time, I was in my accounting job. I definitely didn't have 40 hours a week to put into this, but it's still extremely possible to have big months. As you guys know, I hit up even my first 30K month while I was working part-time. So that's no excuse. It all comes back to having that maximum efficiency there. All right. So let me know in the comments if you guys can. I'm seeing some hashtag lives dropping. Let me know if you guys are ready to go. And I'm ready to get right to it here. Let me, once I see some comments down there popping up, I'll go ahead. I see some likes and loves. I'm ready to get right into this. Like I said, I'm impatient. I want to get you guys going right here. And then, of course, as always, at the end, we'll make sure we get you guys an opportunity to see what it looks like to work with us here and really behind the curtains on that side. So once again, if you guys are new, let me know if you're new down in the comments below. I want to go ahead and get straight to it. Get straight to it, right? Is that what I was trying to say? Let's go ahead and roll with it right here. So with that being said, I want to go ahead. I can see some lives going through. Oh, my man Manny, great to see you. I see we got Danny, great to see you as well. Come on, good to see some familiar faces here. As you guys know, we're here every Wednesday. Always just getting straight to the source. So today is no different. I want to dive right in. So with that, without further ado, let's jump right to it. Income producing activities. I want to talk about really just, if you think about that at its core, the main reason we put so much energy into IPAs, RPAs, right, revenue producing activities, income producing activities, is strictly because, like I was even segueing to this before, time. I've said this before, I'll say it again. Time is one of the most undervalued assets to an entrepreneur, period. It hurts to see that people are so willing to just throw time away when they have such little to really put into their business. Hey, great. Michelle, great to see you here too. Also new, great to have you. Danny says, let's do it. I love it. Come on now. So really, with that being said, time, right? A really big thing is we want to make sure that we're saving time, number one, adding efficiency, number two, because like I mentioned, a lot of people are doing this as a part-time hustle, and you want to work your way up. You want to have that consistent 4K months, maybe even 5K months at that point. That was my goal before I ended up even quitting my job. Right, be able to save up some kind of savings there. And really the way that you're going to have to do that is by dialing into these income producing activities. Okay, so that's why really I want to make sure that what we go over here today hits home, right? I want to make sure it hits home. So drop a hashtag IPA below if you guys are following me on that side, right? We need to make sure that number one, we're saving time. We're being efficient. Beyond that, I want you to stop treating this business like your 9 to 5. A main reason a lot of us get into this is because we're trying to get away from the 9 to 5 mentality, right? Away from the having to work backbreaking hours. And in the beginning, you probably will have to work some longer hours because you're juggling your 9 to 5 job or whatever. Maybe you work a 8 to 9 job or an 8 to 8 job. I know plenty of people who do. Lapita, great to see you here. Lapita's one who's working overtime over there, right? So you have to make sure that you're being efficient, and you can't treat this business like a 9 to 5 job, because even when you go full time, that's the last thing you want to do is be sitting in front of your computer having to, you see it all the time, people talk about laptop lifestyle. Why would you want to be, and they're sitting on a beach. Why would you want to be sitting on the beach with your laptop when you be sitting on the beach, period, right? Sitting on the beach, relaxing with your family, enjoying that time away. That's why I want to really give you what exactly we're talking about here, because it goes not just for when you're in that early stage, you're trying to get your business off the ground into that full-time world, but even beyond that, when you really are even in this full-time, understanding what it takes and really the mindset you should have there, because the last thing you want to do is be working your business like a 9 to 5 job, feeling like you're trapped, feeling like you need to break those chains that you just got out of, and you're wondering what gives here, right? What gives there? So I'm seeing Danny dropping the IPA right there. Love it. Hit those likes and loves too if you guys are understanding, getting some value from what I'm saying here so far. I want to get straight to the source today, all right? So let's go ahead and make this keep on happening here. So really, another big piece as well that people underestimate, and this is, I think this matters even more so when you are full-time in this, but something to be very aware of because it's very powerful if you understand it even while you're in those early stages, is understanding that you really only have so much peak energy inside of your business, right? Inside of your day, I should really say, not even your business, but inside of your day. And a lot of the times for myself, I was getting a lot of that peak energy while I was working my business and my accounting job at the time. I was trying to give that peak energy to the business because I really wanted that to take off there. So the way that you're going to help yourself to do that is by you understanding that you really only have, I like to say, like 4 peak hours in the day. And the reason I say that is because it's the whole reason why people say some people are morning people, some people are night people, some people are whatever the heck, but whatever box or bucket you fit in there. Understand that you really have a day, a part of the day, a time of the day that you are most productive. Right? So with that being said, for me, I was always, I kind of flipped. Before I was into the music world, then I switched over, and once I got out of that, I got into the online business space. I've been here for years now, and then I kind of switched to a morning person. Honestly, it's around the same time that I had my first child, that kind of became a morning person. I call it a coincidence, I don't know. But in reality, you start to understand when you're most productive in your business. So when you start to dial in on that piece, right? Now these IPs become that much more important because you know when you want to put in that time energy, right? A lot of the times too, a lot of us here, who here right now is getting into sales conversations at the moment, right? Comment yes or no below if you're consistently getting into sales conversations. I see we got a bunch of people on here right now. I want to see where you guys are at to make sure this is as relevant as it needs to be, right? Because when you're having sales conversations, you're writing content, you're doing a lot of these important tasks in your business. You want to be doing this during a time of the day when really you're at your peak state, right? Where you can go ahead and be as productive as possible. So now instead of using a task where it may take you 8 hours, you can get it done in 2 hours. And I always say a lot of the times we like to feel that if we spend 2 hours on a project compared to spending 6, 7, 8 hours on a project, like all of a sudden by putting in that extra 5-6 hours, it's going to be that much better. I'll tell you right now, it will not be that much better. And I think deep down, you know that too, right? The percentage of better you're going to have, more of just a higher level of work. It's not going to be as drastic as you think. So understand that when you are dialing into these IPAs, that's why I'm going to show you guys our 5-hour work week and really understand how we have that mindset behind it and how powerful that can be for you there, right? So I really want to just once again, make sure you understand these pieces, because at the end of the day, we want you to be focusing on your priorities, right? Priorities first. I'm seeing Danny's dropping the IPA, Michelle's dropping the IPA, and also I'm seeing you guys are saying, I see some people are in some sales conversations, some are not yet. Either way, that's totally fine on that side. I see Omar said, yes, when I have a sales campaign, no, when I don't. My frequency of sales convo is closely tied to what type of content cycle I'm in. Ooh, that is, we can talk about that later there, Omar. To me, that's a slippery slope to be playing. myself, I'm big into campaigns. I love that. Even inside of the OGC, we teach our sprint campaigns that we do that really help you leverage, really kind of get some momentum and snowball there. But really, I would argue that you want to be the biggest downfall to that, and that mentality of having those kind of things that you run maybe every other month, hopefully once a month, maybe once a quarter, is because you see those dips, right? You see those very high and low dips when it comes to revenue. And for us, we're gonna talk about this later as we start diving deeper into these IPAs here. You really want that consistency, and the way that you have that is by having conversations all the time. We need to be generating conversations every single day, and it's okay if you want to have more, or if you happen to have more conversations when you're in one of those campaigns there, because as you should, drum up that new business. Let's get that influx of cash going. As I like to say, ring that cash register, right? Where's my bell at? Right, ring that cash register here. That's when it's going to go ahead and be powerful, but we want that consistency, right? So I'm glad that you brought that point up there, Omar. The fact that you're even doing sales campaigns is big right there. So kudos to you, brother. I love that right there. So really, with that being said, I want to keep on bringing this right through here because I want to get to, like you said, like we talked about, the 5-hour work week that we really preach here inside of the OGC. So a big piece before this year that we even can talk about getting into is I want to talk about a way that's going to help you be most productive leading into that is obviously time management, right? Time management right now. Who out there right now is time blocking by any means when it comes to their work? Before I guess maybe let me not assume here. I don't want to be, we all know what happens when you assume. If you don't know what time blocking is, maybe feel free to let me know and I can break that down for you. But who in the comments right now is actively time blocking in their business day by day? Myself, I time block 5 days a week. Weekends, I take that off because I really want to be checked out during the weekends when it comes to my business. But let me know in the comments who is time blocking, or if you want me to break down what time blocking is to help you out. Because really when it comes to time management, I find this to be really, they go hand in hand with the IPAs. Because if you aren't really taking that time to understand when you can fit in these most income producing activities inside your business, it's all for naught, right? It's all for nothing on that side there. And so really with that being said, I like to use, even with a simple Google Calendar, even with something like, I personally use Sunsama. I think Sunsama is a powerful software there. One of my old mentors told me about that one. It's a powerful piece. I see Tank. Oh, good to see you here, Tank Live. Right, so really, Lori, Lori, I love that. Lori, you're a hustler too. Great to see you over here live with us today. Right, so really, I am a strong believer in time blocking there, and it's just gonna allow you to not overdo it. Because the way that this whole mentality of even the 5-hour work week comes to life, it's because you're buying into the fact that you have limited hours. And so if you truly have limited hours, of course we can all, a lot of the times too, that's why I even say it the 5-hour work week. A lot of the times we think we have 5 hours, but then when you start digging in, you start to realize you get passionate, you get deep into some sales conversations. You're like, you know what? Maybe I can stay up a little bit later tonight and put some work in, right? So it's like in reality, that's always going to happen. Especially, I hope that if you have that passion, I hope that you spill over into some overtime there, right? But really understanding that you need to have some kind of foundation to follow. So with that, I highly recommend, really when it comes down to this, you set time to really keep going there. I see Omar says it keeps freezing. Hopefully you get your internet right. Let me know if Omar is the one that's freezing for. It looks like everything's streaming just fine on my side. I want to make sure you guys are good and can hear me okay. Actually, yeah, let me know in the comments. You guys hear me okay and everything? Hopefully that's the case. Omar, we'll catch you on the replay, man. But either way, like I was saying, we want to make sure that we are truly blocking that time correctly. And then once you dial that in, you plug in this 5-hour work week mentality, and you are smooth sailing on that side, all right? So that's what I want to see. Okay, perfect. I see Tank said we're good to go. Love it. John says good to go. My man JB, great to see you out here now too, right? So really with that being said, I want, like I said, plant that seed for you. It's one of those underestimated things. A lot of the times too, for a lot of you coaches, business owners out there, so many times you catch yourself only working inside of your business. You've heard me say it here before, you have to dedicate time in your day to work on the business. Myself, I like to dedicate at least an hour to 2 hours per day to work on the business, not in the business. To me, these IPAs I'm going to teach you here today that we focus on are quality focused in the business, right? Because really inside the business, that's what's really generating the day-to-day income in your business there, your day-to-day revenue. But beyond that, we still have to understand big picture. Right? Omar was even talking about campaigns, right? If you want to start mapping these things out, these may not be so 100% directly tied to income today, but focusing on that type of content can really get you multiple 5 figures months down the line, multiple 6 figures months down the line, right? So just understand that mindset there, that really it's the importance of both. I don't want you to only live inside of these IPAs we're preaching here today. I want you to go ahead and get that there, right? So let me know. Drop a hashtag makes sense if that makes sense there. If you guys are still following me, I want to make sure we're on the same page here. So let's go ahead and make sure. And I can see too. Okay, perfect. You guys say I'm good to go. Danny says I'm good to go. Glad to hear that you guys are hearing me okay. Hey, you know, that's the real world out here too. This online business, sometimes your internet doesn't work so well. We'll catch you on the replay over here, Omar, but I'm glad that you were here with us at least in the beginning. But let me know, yeah, drop it makes sense in the comments here if this is making sense right here, because now I want to break down really bit by bit, brick by brick. And when I say bit by bit, brick by brick, I like to keep things simple, right? What's our motto here in Original Chapters? Simplicity over hustle, right? So I want to go ahead and break this down really to give this to you guys in a nice, smooth way that makes perfect sense and keeps it dialed in. So even with that being said, actually, let me go ahead here. I'm gonna pull up a notepad so you guys don't have to just listen to me yap at you here. I want to go ahead and make sure, hit the like and love button too if this is making sense for you guys as well. I want to make sure we got you guys covered. So let me go ahead and here and share my screen on this side. So with that being said as well, I want to go ahead and now show you. Hopefully, let me know if you guys can see this here too. Hopefully you're not just seeing me talk now and you can see this here. I want to make sure you guys can make sure you're following along here, making this easy for you, right? So with that being said, actually, let me probably help if I can see, if you guys are actually telling me if you can see this or not. I'll wait a sec to make sure you guys can see on this side. I'm not just looking at you're not just seeing my face, and I think you're seeing what I'm seeing. Let's make sure we're on the same page here. So while that's pulling up, I'm gonna go ahead and get this here. Oh, perfect. Okay, good. So you guys can see. Awesome there. So really, when it comes down to IPAs, right? And for those IPAs, we're not talking, you know, I'm blanking on a good IPA right now. I like IPA, but there's just so many different kinds. Either way, we're not talking about beer here. We're not talking about breweries. We're talking about income producing activities, right? That income producing activities on this side. So with that being said, what are our core three? Like I mentioned, I'm going to go ahead and let me know too. I'll go ahead and offer this to you guys later too. If you guys want our actual 5-hour worksheet, I'm happy to share that to you. That really breaks this down deep. I want to really give you guys some practical steps so you can go and take action today. But let me know down in the comments later on. Drop a comment 5-hour. You can do that now or later. 5-hour work week, right? This is our mentality. This is really something we preach heavily here because it keeps you efficient. It keeps you making sure that you're focused in the right areas, time in, time out. Number one, with that being said, right? Audience. Number two, content. Number three, conversations. All right? And there's no 4, 5, 6. There's no 4. There's no 3B. There's no 2B. There's no 27 or 2D, whatever you're looking for, right? This is what we're focusing on. And really when it comes to content, I want to be specific. I don't want to leave you guys hanging here. Prospect facing content, all right? That's what I really mean. What do I mean by prospect facing content? I don't mean focusing on content where you're building your funnels out. I don't mean focusing on content where you're focusing on building out courses. You're focusing on building out other important pieces of content, but a lot of that stuff kind of can be a little bit more on the business and not in the business, right? I want you focusing in the business here today and dialing in on what's going to generate that income, all right? And that is going to be prospect-facing content over anything. I wonder if I can zoom in. I guess I can't zoom in, but it seems like you guys can see, so I'm not going to worry about that, right? So audience, prospect-facing content, and conversations. These are the only buckets that matter, okay? These are the only buckets that matter there. Oh, and I'm seeing you guys dropping the 5-hour too. I'll make sure to give you guys a 5-hour after. I'm going back and forth between some comments. So good to see you guys want that. I'll hook you up. So, but if you guys, let me make sure, comment buckets below if you guys are understanding so far, right? Once again, I'm going to dive deep into all three of these, but I just want to be on the same page here that these are the only 3 buckets we need to worry about when it comes to producing income in our business. Everything else is fluff. Everything else, and I'm not saying, I say everything else is fluff. Hey, peanut butter and fluff is good. So I'm not saying that fluff is bad, but in reality, fluff is not needed. There's jelly all the time, right? There's other options. I'm being funny with that. But in reality here, I want you to understand that really there are these 3 buckets that are the most important. I want to dive into these heavily today because everything else is garbage. Everything else is what I like to say to a lot of my clients there is there's certain things you want to focus on when you're at that 0 to 3K mark, right? 0 to 3K per month mark. When you're in that stage, 0 to 3K, 0 to 5K, I'm arguably going to say more, but either way, somewhere in that range, you need to be focusing heavily inside of these buckets here, right? And that's when after that, you can start dialing a bit more into some other areas that can really help save you time when it comes to scaling, building a team, understanding how to really scale your client acquisition, dial in on your content that's not prospect facing to go ahead and save you time and manage down that much more here. All right, so but really I want to make sure that we understand that this piece right here is important. So keep on hitting that like and love button. I can see that coming through. Evelyn, you want to know more about time blocking? I'll definitely hook you up on that side after. Let's make sure we get through this too, but I love that you're asking about that because that's crucial. In my eyes, that's where this stuff really, the combination is so key. I think a lot of people want to overlook it and just think that it's just one or the other. And in reality, you need both if you want to make sure, because a lot of us, like I said, are not doing this as a full time, and you want to get to that point. And I want to help you get there. All right. So with that being said, let's keep this party moving now. I see some buckets dropping below, so we're good. So inside of these, let's start number one. I'm going to go ahead and put audience first. So when it comes down to audience here, number one, we got the audience side. Really, this means building your audience. This is arguably, and I say this as number one because without this, nothing else matters. Without an audience, nothing else matters, right? I tell you guys, I like to keep things simple. I like to keep things practical, right? So that's why I'm just keeping it blunt here today. That's why there's only 3 things. There's not 12 magic pills here today. There's 3. And they're all nice and tasty, and I want to give you the good stuff inside of them, right? So really, without this, nothing else matters. If we have no people to present offers to show our content to get into conversations with, it's irrelevant, all right? And that's why I think a lot of people, when it comes to this space, think, I need to get myself an email list, because that really, now all of a sudden, I get 1,000 member email list, 1,000 subscribers on my email list, because now I can really go ahead and have that chance. If I just get 1% of them to buy, I'm a millionaire, right? And you can tell I'm being a little sarcastic because I think that strategy there, I don't love it personally. You can probably tell by my tone here. But in reality, I say that because you don't need a large audience, right? Don't need a large audience. You need an audience with the big focus is focus. And I'm not going to say focus. Understand who your ideal avatar is. Right? I told you this is really, there's a reason that we're talking about all 3 of our three core pillars here. Because that's where the money is made. That's where the income is produced. So I want to go ahead and make sure we're giving this to you guys here, right? So understand who your ideal avatar is. Why do I say this? Because it comes back to the whole 5-hour principle, right? The 5-hour work week principle here. The reason I say this is because if you're going to go ahead and build your audience efficiently in a way it's going to save you time, you must know exactly who you're trying to talk to. One of the biggest issues I see with people trying to grow their audience on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, wherever it may be, is it's taking them a long time to know whether someone is really a good fit, whether I should really reach out to them and have a conversation, because I've had so many time wasters, time vampires just sucking the blood out of me, right? Sucking the time out of my day. The problem is you're not understanding who your ideal avatar is. And once you understand that, it's going to allow you to go out there consistently, keep throwing. You guys have probably heard me say the bullseye analogy I say all the time. It's going to allow you to keep throwing for that bullseye. And even if you don't get it, you're still going to get points for going just outside of there, right? I don't play darts, but I know let's just say you get 100 points for that bullseye. I'll still take a 70, because if I can still throw a 70 there, I'm still going to get some people in, right? Even with a potential 60, right? So really, that's the mindset I want you to have when it comes to building your audience. Before you can really make this as efficient as possible, you have to understand and really dial in on who your avatar is, okay? Because once you have that dialed in, now you go and find them. I'm in all caps. I'm texting all caps here because maybe that's how I feel inside. Go and find them. I've done plenty of trainings inside of this Facebook group. I've got free courses on how to find people. Obviously, I don't want to dive too deep into how to go and find them. But in reality, if you're on a platform right now, as you all know, I love Facebook. It's a powerful place to do it. Find them on Facebook. Find them on YouTube. Go and speak to them and bring in cold leads and warm leads simultaneously. A lot of people will go out there and tell you that you don't need cold leads in your business. I'm here to tell you, I think that's garbage. I think it's garbage. And I'm telling you that because it depends where you're at, right? Does Russell Brunson need to deal with cold leads? No, he's Russell Brunson. He's got millions of followers. You, as somebody who is now trying to get from 0 to 10K per month, 10 to 30K per month, 30 to 50K per month, I don't care where you're at, anywhere between 0 to 50 to 100, you need to be focused on getting cold members into your audience and warming them up. right? Don't be fooled by that, okay? So drop me. I'll pull up my comments here. As you can see, I'm getting fired up because this stuff it's just important, it's impactful, and it's straight to the source. I want to make sure we're hitting home for you guys here today. So with that being said, comment audience right now if you guys understand me on this first bullet right here. Comment audience. We'll make sure we're on the same page here. Want to make sure we're good. I'm loving that you guys are interested in this 5-hour work week sheet. Come on, I got you guys covered now. We'll make sure that either myself or one of my specialists here will hook you guys up. I see we got John in the audience here too. He's one of our group specialists, so we'll make sure that one of us gets you taken care of there. So let me know down in the comments. Comment audience if we are on the same page. Comment audience if you're following me right now, right? I want to make sure before we keep going, you understand that this is an important first piece and why, right? So before I keep going, I really want to make sure that is understood there, okay? I'm seeing, Cosmin, great to see you back here, man. Great to see you back for another one. See Evelyn saying audience with a smiley face. Come on, there we go. You're making me smile now, Evelyn. I love it. I love it. Okay, good. So we got some audiences popping through. Perfect. So now, number two, prospect-facing content. Prospect-facing content, right? Once again, why am I saying prospect-facing content? Because so many people want to worry about, here's what I do not mean. This does not include funnels. This doesn't include websites. This doesn't include your course, right? I say it to coaches out there, course creators out there. You're trying to build a course out when in reality you don't even have an audience. You don't even have customers yet. We teach how to do stealth launches here because in reality, that's going to be more powerful and more efficient when it comes to your time. So many people want to go ahead and build something. It's like the whole mentality, build it and they will come. Like this ain't Noah's Ark, all right? Really, we need to go ahead and focus and dial in on what is producing that income. And right now, you building a course potentially is not the answer, right? So I said, so that's some just, as you can see, I want to get this point across here so you can feel me. So really, that's what it doesn't include. So really, what am I talking about when it comes to what are these pieces of the content that we want to dial in on? And really ways to get that focused in, because the above brings us lack of focus, right? And lack of focus is what really slows us down in this business, and I do not want that to happen to you, okay? So really a powerful way that we can be really effective that I believe in heavily, I teach it to all the time with people who are really getting started, especially with content, because one of the biggest things with content, honestly, is you have to take imperfect action, right? You have to take imperfect action, and making that doable is having a powerful content framework, of course. I've done plenty of trainings on content. I'm not going to dive in on that here today, but having a content framework helps. But really a big piece that I think is huge, that I think I'm going to recommend to everybody here if you're not doing already, I could just leave that word batch alone. But let's put the second word here to put it all together. Batching your content. So many times I see people where, and I say this because maybe I say I see people because I do see it, but before this used to be me so much when I was working my full-time job. Now, to be honest, if I'm being fully transparent, I don't batch my content anymore as much because I do just like kind of typing in the moment, but I have the luxury of doing that because I'm full-time here. So like, let's not mix the two. Like I said, let's just be practical. Let's be practical and let's be realistic. So with batching content, a lot of the times what I used to hate was, I like to say, you want to post a couple times a week, right? You don't need to post every day. If someone tells you need to post every day, they're wasting your time and you're not focusing on the right IPAs, right? But really, as long as you're posting a few times a week, a couple times a week, you're good. So with that being said, it's going to be a lot less stressful on yourself if you can sit down and take an hour to 2 hours a day, in a week, 1 day out of 7 days, 1 to 2 hours, and get all your content done right then and there, right? This is something that I strongly believe you should be doing in your business, because what's that going to do? It's going to freeze up time. As you can see, I'm back to the caps. Freeze up time for the other two IPAs, right? That's what it's going to do when you allow yourself to do this here. This is why part of what we teach in our 5-hour work week is so effective, because content is such a powerful piece, but we know how to be effective with our time here. And once you get better and better, I got a client, Thomas, he's crushing it on the content copywriting side. He's creating a lane for himself out here. And he is now banging out content. In like 15 minutes, he's knocking out 2 posts, 3 posts, right? Half hour, he's knocking out a couple posts, right? And really, I'm not saying that that's going to be everybody here, but in reality, once you do this consistently, and that is the beauty of this, you dedicate time in your weeks, time in your days, blocking out time to focus on these IPAs, you're going to get better and better and better. A lot that I talk about inside of our program here is sharpening that steel. Once you get the right frameworks, understand the right principles, the right strategies to go ahead and leverage into your business, now you put it on repeat. You put it on repeat and you keep grinding, hustling. But once again, there's simplicity to the hustle. We're not hustling on building out our funnels, hustling on doing all these extra things. I could probably list like 30 other things there, but I don't want to waste our time here. I want to stay focused on what matters, right? We can always talk about what doesn't matter, but really, let's focus on what does. So that's really another big piece why this is so important. We want to free up that time there. So as you can imagine, it may take you a bit longer to get some content done, depending on how much content you're trying to put out per week. But once you dial it in, stay consistent, it's going to get better, and better, right? And so I know I said I was going to hook you guys up with a little bit of content, with a little framework here, but I want to just give you some basics to help you out as far as, what should some of your content be speaking on? So let me just help you out there. I'm gonna bless you with a little something here, right? Just because I like helping you guys out. I can't help it. I do it for the community here, right? So with that being said, I'm gonna give you 3 main pieces that your content should consist of, right? These are the 3 main pieces, and really, I would say every piece of content can consist of this, to be honest, right? If there are other pieces that can be added to this, but as long as you have these, in my eyes, you're good. Number 1. I'll put number 1 here. Number 1. Address problems. Number 2. Agitate those problems. Number 3. Provide your plan. That's as simple as it can be. I know it's that simple. I know maybe you might think you have some questions along that too. Like I said, I don't want to dive too deep in that today, but in reality, take this for what it is. Take this for what it is and implement it into your content. And I promise you're going to start taking leaps and bounds as far as really starting to speak to that ideal avatar. Show them that expertise. Show them you're an authority. Show them that you know what you're talking about, all right? And the way that you're going to get that is obviously by having the right guidance, going through the right materials, gaining the right knowledge to know how to really address problems inside of your audience, right? Agitate those problems. Throw salt on the wound. Provide a plan. And then obviously, I keep on saying, I like hooking you guys up here. This is one that's optional. CTAs, right? For CTA, for those who don't know, call to action. This is one that's optional. If you ask me, you should not have a CTA on every single post of your content. You want to go ahead and give it a break. Some people go ahead and feel different. It's not really that big of a deal, no matter what side of the fence you're sitting on. So with that being said, this is the content side, right? Prospect-facing content. This is the second area you need to be heavily focused in, all right? Comment content down below if we are on the same page, all right? Comment content down below if we're on the same page here. I see Cosman says it makes sense. I'm glad to hear it. Keep on hitting that like and love button too. I'm loving that this is making sense to you guys right now. Oh, I'm seeing a bunch of people dropping the audience before too. Love it there. Wilson, great to see you back. I love it. Come on now. Let's go ahead and keep this party rocking. Yeah, so like I said, so far. And once again, I want to see those comments of content below before we keep on moving here to make sure we're all on the same page, right? So really, as you can see right now, number 1 and 2. Let me go ahead and bold these suckers real quick, all right? Bold these bad boys and gals. All right, so number 1 and 2, audience, prospect-facing content, all right? At the end of the day, once again, I like to keep things very straightforward here. At the end of the day, if we don't have an audience, we have no one to put our content in front of, right? And if we don't put out content, in my eyes, this third one can't really happen. I mean, and here's the thing. This third one can happen, technically. If you want to get technical about it, sure, it can happen. But I want you to think about it. I know plenty of people in the space right now. Sales conversations. I'm going to be specific. Let me put this here before I keep on yapping here. Sales conversations, right? I know plenty of people in this space right now who barely put out content, right? Barely put out content and are crushing it. But it's just like I mentioned before. Just like I mentioned when it comes down to the Russell Brunsons, right? Even myself, like if you look at my profile, I don't put out as much content on my profile these days, right? Is my business suffering because of it? No, but it's because there's already authority. There's already authority established. The brand has been growing. I've been doing this for years now. It's different, right? So I'm just saying you want to go ahead and be consistent with some content to some degree there. And I can see with all the people saying content right now in the comments, We're on the same page, so I'm not going to dwell on that anymore. Thank you for understanding, right? Just take my word for it at the very least, all right? Go out there and crush it. So that's number 1 and 2. Number 1 in audience, number 2, content. So number 3 right now is sales conversations, all right? Sales conversations. Why do I put this as number 3? I'm going to tell you right now. This is why. Because of this fact alone, I strongly believe high ticket sales are born from one-on-one conversations, right? And to be honest, I think this is where I think I did mean conversations here, because this is how I would say it. Reality, you want to have sales conversations, but it's okay to have normal conversations first, or however you want to build up and nurture. But in reality, you want to start leading up to sales conversations. Overall conversations are great. Once again, be protective of your time as well here. If you are for someone who is trying to juggle a job, a family, this, that, a fiance, a girlfriend, whatever the case is, and your business, right? So once again, that's why I want to put the emphasis though on sales conversations. I'm okay with regular conversations. They're still helping build up that trust, but sales conversations are the key. And really, high ticket sales in me are born from one-on-one conversations. One thing that I used to say all the time is high ticket sales are born in Messenger, right? And this is really, I say that for Facebook, right? I'm a Facebook guy, so really that's my one-to-one form of communication is Facebook DMs, right? And in reality, it can be the same thing in IG, right? Instagram. It can be the same thing technically in TikTok, right? I don't usually teach doing it that way when it comes to TikTok, but that's an option. It can be the same thing. YouTube's a little different because you can't really do it there, right? So whatever other one-to-one direct messaging platforms you are using, that's what I want you to start focusing on when it comes to these sales conversations, because in reality, these are the bread and butter, right? This is where without having that one-on-one interaction, it's going to be so tough. And what's a way that these can be born? Where do these conversations stem from, right? Where do these conversations stem from? To me, you have 2 options. You have cold and you have warm, right? And this is why the content side is so important, because to me, you're really, even when it comes to cold, you can get cold and warm people from content, right? Getting cold and warm leads from content. It's a great place as well. But also on the cold side, you want to be proactive, right? Being proactive and getting out there. I think another place that really is I feel like this is another option that people just really highly skip over. Like it's not a thing. And maybe it's because there's no real good word for it. I'm going to call it lukewarm, right? Lukewarm here. I think that people always, it's always like that choose a side thing. Oh, are you this or that? Are you a Republican or a Democrat? It's like, who cares, right? At the end of the day, let's dance on both lines here. Let's play in all the battlegrounds, right? So lukewarm leads are such an underestimated place to have conversations, because there were people who are in the in-between, right? Doesn't be there's the cold lead who has no idea who you are, right? They haven't even seen a post of yours. Maybe they just got into your world. And you have the warm lead here. Maybe you've had a phone call with them before. Maybe they check out all your posts. Maybe you're already having a bunch of conversations with them. There are people in the middle who you need to not overlook there. That's why even I offer my students our ELM Messenger Pro over there. Really, these are ways that are just going to help you to make sure that you're keeping your finger on the pulse and understanding who you should be talking to, who are potential clients, prospective clients that are sitting in your audience that you may be just looking past. And a lot of that comes back to obviously inside of this conversations. And once again, I only have an hour here to chat with you right now, or else, and that's even if that, right? Or else I'd be diving heavily into all 3 of these areas, right? But inside of these sales conversations, what comes from them, right? What comes from these convos? Offers, sales calls, Google Docs, right? I teach making offers through Google Docs, offer docs, sending people to sales pages, right? Executing, right? For any type of executing, really is what really I should kind of call this. That's how I teach it inside of our OGC intensive here. Really, execute anything that really is progressing that conversation forward. That's what's important right there. And so really that's the goal of any sales conversation, is to get to that first execution. It does not have to be monetary, right? It does not have to be monetary. Sales conversation can still help push someone in the right direction there, right? But once you get to that point, obviously a lot of you here, because we're talking income, we're talking IPA, so you want to know how to really generate that income. And so in reality, you're going to have to dial into these as well to really bring that full piece together there. So, but to be honest, like I said, as you can see, this is the 3 main things for a reason, because they all go hand in hand. You can't have conversations without content. You can't, or you won't have as many conversations. Once again, you can argue with me that, hey, you can have conversations without content. If you ask me, those conversations are going to go so much worse. So that's why you want to dial it in and really get your content out there. The content is building authority, builds authority, builds trust, right? Authority, trust. That know, right? That know, like, and trust, right? KLT, right? It builds that KLT, that builds that know, like, and trust up, which is going to help improve your sales conversations, right? So with that being said, I hope that you can see, even just within these, and just to make sure we're all on the same page again, comment conversations, right? Convos, conversations, drop either or. If you want to be abbreviated, I don't care on that side. I just want to make sure we're on the same page here. Drop that in the comments for it to make sure that you're understanding this last one too. I definitely want to open any kind of questions we have there. Evelyn, I haven't forgot about you in the time blocking. I'm definitely happy to circle back to that here today. But I want to make sure that you guys are following me on the conversation side here right now. Let me go ahead and pull my comments back up. Make sure we're on the same page here, because this is so critical here that we're focusing on the right areas, right? The right areas. As you can see, there's so many other little things that are that I've not mentioned on here, right? When it comes down to content, I'm going to also argue with this side. Focus on one platform. Focus on one platform here. I didn't say go ahead and really, I didn't say get your content on 7 different websites. I didn't say get your content on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. I didn't say you need all that, right? I want you to focus in on what matters most. And really, that's if you can dial into all 3 of these areas, have a strong strategy around them, it is going to transform your business. I promise you that much, okay? I promise you, because all this other stuff is just going to slow you down and distract you. Last thing I want you to be is distracted on pieces that are not going to move the needle forward in your business. That's why we're here today, to give you that clarity, right? Hopefully set off some light bulb moments there. I'm seeing some conversations rolling through. I love it. I love it. I love it. Like I said, hit that like and love button. This is all making sense here for you guys. Drop a hashtag value if you're getting something out of this right here at all. I want to make sure that, like I said, I'm bringing this to you every week to make sure that we're giving you something that is really actionable steps, right? Actionable steps here. So with that being said, also, I did see too on your guys' side, I'll make sure to get you guys hooked up on the 5-hour work week stuff too. But that is great to see, honestly. I just love to see you guys doing this here. So with that being said, I definitely want to go ahead and make sure that we take care of any questions on that side. But before we do, as always, like I said, I promise you guys I want to make sure that I give you that invitation to make sure you're covered on this side, because I don't want to make sure that this goes overlooked. So, because obviously you may, as I have the screen up here, you may be having trouble building that audience, or really understanding how to go find them, how to bring people in, and understanding who that avatar is, right? As we talk about discovering that 6-figure avatar, having a tough time dialing in your content strategy to really bring in qualified leads over and over again. Like I mentioned, you want the cold leads, but you also want to bring in as many warm leads in your business as possible. That's why I bash the people who say, you don't need, they say, oh, just get warm leads, that's it. That's very powerful and true, but there's both sides of the equation. So you want to understand how you can use your content to help you with both sides of that there, right? And really how to have a good framework on the sales side and even beyond the sales conversations, like these main pieces here, right? Understanding your offers, understanding how to go about sales conversations, sales calls, offer docs, creating no-brainer offers, right? Our bestseller offers like we talk about here to really go ahead and push you through, right? So if you're a coach, a service provider, affiliate marketer, wherever you stand at in this business right now, and you want to build a successful business online in Facebook, where we really focus on just using a Facebook profile, go ahead and comment growth below. You can comment growth in all caps, lowercase, whatever the deal is. Myself or one of my group specialists will reach out, and we'll make sure that we can really see what's going on before we even have a chat. Really make sure that what you have going on right now, if there's some advice we can give you ahead of time, and then really see what you got going on, build a game plan, see really if we're even a good fit to work together, and then just take it from there, right? For myself, as you can see, I mentioned you guys, I was doing this strictly through Facebook, no ads, no paid advertising at all, just utilizing free traffic. What got me to being from, like I said, full-time accounting to full-time online. So I want to go ahead and really provide the step-by-step that's been knocking out the park for different clients here. Some clients I've already heard that are on the call right now. They're already seeing great results too. So I want to make sure we get you guys hooked up on that side. So comment growth below in the comments, and we'll make sure to fire back and see what we can do to help you out here, right? I'd love to help work with you one-on-one, see what we can do to get you moving. So with that being said, let's go ahead and really continue here. I want to make sure that any comments, questions you guys have for me, we take care of you, right? Because I'm here to take care of you. That's why we got these Wednesday lives here. So with that being said, I remember Evelyn had mentioned back before, you would love to know more about time blocking. Great question there. So when it comes to time blocking, I'm going to put this here too. So for the time, actually, you know what? Maybe I'll put a new note. Maybe I'll hook you guys up and give you guys this this document after the fact. So let's just say time blocking here, right? So when it comes down to time blocking, the reason that your income producing activities are going to be so impactful in your business, right, is because you're going to be making sure that you can take the time to actually do them, right? And that is what's most important. So imagine right now you have your 9 to 5 job, right? And with that 9 to 5 job, maybe you have time where you have to work 9 to 5. You can't squeeze anything in. So now where are you going to go prioritize, right? So with that being said, that's 8 hours of the day gone. 8 hours gone. You know, we're awake. Let's just say we're awake. Let's just say we're awake for, I'm going to put this up here, awake for 16 hours of the day. Right? We're awake for 16 hours of the day. 9 to 5 hours, 9 to 5 job. That means 8 hours are gone right there, right? If you add in your commute, right? Some of us commute, right? Maybe so now with the commute, that's 1 hour gone. 1 hour. I'm going to go. I got something stuck in my throat there. Got a little tickle. One sec. Give me a quick time out here. Let me pull out the water bottle. My goodness. Save me, somebody. Save me. All right, I'm back. Hopefully I'm good. Hopefully I give you guys a little chuckle there. All right, so 9 to 5 job. That is 8 hours gone, right? Beyond that, you have family time. Family, like once again, it's like, let's be real. Some people don't want to be real about what is going on in your lives, right? Family time. With that being said, that could be 2 hours of your day, well, whatever the case is. Family time, and then obviously, wait, 16. Not 6 hours. Hope you guys are working more than 6 hours. Those are screwed. Hashtag hydrate. Come on now, Evelyn, right? Got to. So that leaves, right? What's 18? 16 minus 8 minus 1 minus 2. I'm an accountant by trade, or that was my degree here. I'm still putting out the calculator. You know, it is what it is. Minus 1 minus 2. So we got 5 hours left with our day. This is exactly why I talk about the 5-hour work week mentality, because in reality, we only have so many hours in the day in our week, and we have to prioritize that. So if you have 5 hours in your day, this is established now based off, let's just assume this is everybody in this room here. You got 5 hours in your day. Oh, is it 7? Am I getting that wrong here? I think it's 5. Lori, let me know if I'm doing my math wrong here. Right? So 5 hours in your day you got. So what you want to now start to really get in the habit of doing. We just broke down what these IPAs are, right? So with that being said, you want to go ahead now and literally block time. And let's just say I would go ahead. So this means equals 25 hours in your work week. Looks like I can't count. Come on, I need a calculator. I can't count over here either. So really, this means you have 25 hours in your work week, right? So with that being said, what a lot of people are doing, and that's why I'm telling you this right now, because I want you to be different. I want you to stop being like everybody else, because everybody else is normal. Normal sucks, right? Normal's what gets you broke, right? So really, we're going to talk about how you can not be normal here today. So how you not be normal is by taking into account ahead of time how you're going to dial in with this here. So so on Monday, you have 5 hours. Tuesday, 5 hours. Wednesday, 5 hours. And maybe Thursday, I could get really granular with this and say on Friday, maybe you have less hours, right? Maybe on Fridays you have you only have 3 hours, right? So with that being said, you have to dial that in. So now on Mondays, literally the way that I do it is I like to go day by day, right? But there are certain things that I'm going to do on certain days of the week. Just because, once again, I talk about your peak state early in this conversation today, right? So with that being said, understanding Maybe what time's the day you're best at? What days of the week you're best at? I know myself, when it comes to Friday, I'm kind of checked out, to be honest. Like, for me, when it comes to like after 12 o'clock in the afternoon on a Friday, I'm kind of out of it, to be honest. And also too, Monday mornings. It takes me some time to get into my day there, right? I see Evelyn and Lloyd, we're talking about hump days over here, right? Hump day. Maybe your hump day, we're a little off, right? So maybe hump days, you don't prioritize your best stuff on your hump day, right? So with that being said, hey, heck yeah, right, Danny? Normal is boring. Forget normal over here. So with that being said, for myself, I like to batch my content on a Monday. Content batching. And so with that, I want to know exactly how much, because once again, I have 5 hours on Monday, 5 hours on Tuesday, 5 hours Wednesday, 5 hours Thursday, and 3 hours on Friday, right? So with that being said, I already know this is the case. So how are we going to go ahead and plan around this, right? So batching content. For myself, I would recommend for everyone out there, it shouldn't take you more than 2 hours to batch your content. If you're taking more than 2 hours, it's because you're probably nitpicking, right? It's because you're nitpicking there, right? So really, and then beyond that, now you're filling in remaining buckets. I'm just going to, because I don't want to waste too much time on everybody here today, but remaining buckets should be in IPAs. Dump in on your IPAs when it comes to this. And the beautiful part about this is why that I'm going to give, let me know once again, I saw people did before. I'll scroll up and I'll make sure that myself and the specialist hook you guys up. Comment 5-hour work week. Feel free to do it to comment again if you want to make sure we get you covered. I have a whole spreadsheet, worksheet, document breaks down exactly how we do our 5-hour work week. I'm happy to pass that along to you guys here. Comment that in the comments. We'll get you hooked up. All right. So with that being said, IPAs. This is now when you can really dial in and spend exactly the amount of time you want on your IPAs. Which hour? These 3 bad boys right here, right? Dialing in on these 3. And so really, to keep things simple today, I'm going to go ahead and do this, right? Because really, this is that. This is what you're looking for on that side, right? This is what you're looking for here. So when you have this now, you can truly dial it in and understand. So now let's look at our Mondays, right? This is the beautiful part. You're already starting to see the magic of this. Maybe you're not seeing the magic yet, but I'm going to open your eyes to it. Here's the beautiful part. What are one of the 3 most important income producing activities in your business? Prospect facing content. Guess what you just spent your time finishing it for the week was batching that content. So now you have just opened up your hours for these options, right? For these options here. This can now be completely gone, right? If you want to, I like to say technically, maybe I'll spend a couple minutes of my day putting up a story, put up a small piece of content, but my main content is done with. The stress, I'm telling you right now, at the very least, the stress relief you are going to feel from that. It's going to feel good. It's going to feel really good there. Obviously, once again, you want to have the right frameworks behind that to make sure your content you're putting out there is really going to be effective and really speak to that audience. But that's off your plate. So now, batching amount of, and once again, I'm very particular with the amount of time here. I could easily, I don't need a new note. I could easily spend more than 2 hours. I want to sit on this piece of it right here now, just because this is so important to the time blocking. Just to go back to like why Evelyn brought this question up. You want to make sure that you literally dedicate 2 hours, 1 hour, 3 hours, 5 hours, 30 minutes, whatever it is, and you stick to it. And you stick to it there, all right? Because when you do that, it's going to allow you, and I say this for, like, let's give, like, I like to say, I want to give you guys examples based on my experiences. I don't like to give you fluff. I like to give you just BS, right? I'm trying to keep it PG here a little bit, right? So with that being said, when I was working my full-time job as an accountant while building my business, I had to go ahead and literally leverage, just like probably a lot of you out there, you only have so much time you can do stuff. And so now I literally had like sometimes an hour to get done with the post and do something else. And what would happen is I would get a post done. Maybe I could have done maybe I could have got it 5 to 10% better if I would have spent another hour on it, right? But that's the beauty of it. When you just really dial in with having a set time, and I'm really saying this as well to the people who are working full-time in your business already, or maybe you have more time than the average person who maybe is working like a 10 to 10 job, and they really have tiny bits of energy to work with. Like, this time blocking is even more important to you, but it's arguably just as important to everybody in the room right now, right? Because when you go ahead and have this mentality here, it's going to allow you to stay efficient and not get lost and sidetracked on just the little bits that's not going to move the needle. I call this income producing activities because if you spend 2 hours on your content and you dial it into those 2 hours compared to spending 10 hours on your content, you are wasting so much time. So much time there, right? And I'm sure that you can resonate with me because there's probably been times I've had clients where this happen. They spend 30 minutes on a 15 minutes on a post because they're trying to just get it out quickly. They got to do something. Compared to when they spend 2 hours like tweaking, updating, trying to get everything dialed in. And what post does better? The one that you spend 15 minutes on. It's not a coincidence. It's just how it is a lot of the times, right? We like to overanalyze, and sometimes even for music. I'll be honest, when I was big into music before, that was a big thing that I used to always do. I would come in. I was a producer, engineer. I wasn't singing. My voice isn't for the singing side, but I was making instrumentals, making beats, and when that was coming into play, I would make a beat, make an instrumental there in like half hour, 15 minutes, hour, whatever it was. It would sound awesome, and then before you know it, you get home, or even that same day, and you work on it for like another 5 hours. Sometimes you work on it for another few days. And all of a sudden, it's just like this unrecognizable sound. It's lost the feeling that you captured from just purely dumping in the energy that you really had there, right? And so I give you that analogy there to think about that for your content, right? Because when it comes to your content, it's the same mentality. You don't need to overpour, right? Just pour the right amounts. And one last piece I'll give you here is that when it comes to, I think if you have more than 5 hours into your work week, like I like to say, what should you do with that time? Conversations. This should be where the additional time should be dumped into. Conversations, conversations, conversations. And why do I say that? It all comes back to this right here, because I truly mean this deep down in my heart. High ticket sales are born from conversations. Point blank, period. I'm not from the school of one to many. And once again, one to many works. I'm not saying I have a YouTube channel. I don't really do TikTok, but I'm in a Facebook group talking one to many now. But in reality, if you want to start getting some results quickly, one to one is your best bet. Hopefully that ramble hit home right there. I tell you guys, bring the passion out of me. Come on now. Drop something. Let me know if this is making sense. Let me know if you guys are getting some value out of this here. I really appreciate you guys sticking around. Clearly you're getting a lot out of this, and I love it. And that's why, like I said, I see some people dropping. Evelyn, I saw you drop the 5-hour work week. We'll make sure we get you that hooked up. And anybody else who commented that before, I'll make sure we get you that hooked up as well, because this is just so powerful here. So Evelyn, I hope that helps you on the time blocking side. Let me know if anybody else has any questions here. I don't want to bring this keep this going on too much longer. I got other places I gotta be. So with that being said, I want to make sure I got any other last questions to fire through. But hit the like button, hit the love button. Let me know if you guys are getting some value out of this. I'll take a thank you. I'll take a appreciate you. I'll take a value. I'll take a wisdom. I'll take a knowledge. Just show me you're getting something here today. That fuels me out right here. I want to make sure we're getting you guys pushed in the right direction. We're all about the practical information. Hopefully you can tell here, I don't want to give you fluff, right? A lot of times I want to make sure that you understand exactly why I want you to dial in and focus on these areas so that you go ahead and do it. So that you go ahead and move forward with confidence. Too many mentors, gurus in this space are telling you, just go do this, right? That's the whole mentality like I was saying before. Go build an email list of 1,000 subscribers, 5,000 subscribers. You're bound to get a sale from one of them. It's like that mentality I think is a bit flawed, and it leaves you wondering. Now you're just kind of like wandering the desert aimlessly. And I want you to be wandering the desert with a nice full jug of water, right? Hashtag stay hydrated out here, right? Come on now. So really, I really hope this hit home for you guys here today. I see today says hashtag value bombs. Come on. I want to give you guys that good stuff here today. So if there's no other questions, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this sucker up. Appreciate you guys for being here. As always, we're here every Wednesday. So like I said, it was great to see some people here, some new people here for the first time. For those of you who are catching us on the replay, hopefully you soaked in some good value here as well. And shoot, I guess with all that being said, I'll see you next week, right? And obviously inside of the group, but I will see you here live and direct, 5 p.m. Eastern every single Wednesday. Take care for now. Hopefully you guys got some good stuff out of this, but I will see you next time. Take care, everybody. Thanks for watching this video all the way through. Make sure you go ahead and like this if you got a ton of value from, which I hope you did. Subscribe to the channel, and absolutely go ahead and join us in our Original Chapters community. Links right down there in the description. And as always, you are designed to become who you choose to be. I'll see you later.